Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're going to be watching this short video, which is the most apt, precise, straightforward response to everyone who has come out to defend any GO, any pastor, anyone using the Bible to make their living. That is how I see it. Now, you and I, everybody, or so many people already know that these men we're talking about, they do not use only charms to chase anyone who is speaking up against them. They also use hired assassin. We have seen such story. We've seen it before, even though we are trying to shy away from it. They threaten. They do everything. Unfortunately for them, some of us are not living for anything again, but we are ready to die for something, which is why I'm going to explain this again. And I hope that when you're watching this, you set aside some part of your sentiments. Now, I'm going by the same Bible that you believe that they use in tying you down. Why not take a short journey with me into the book of 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 18, 19, and probably 20. I will quickly read 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 18 and 19, and probably 20. This command I entrust to you, Timothy, my son, in accordance with the prophecies previously made concerning you, so that by them you may fight the good fight in contending with false teachers. Verse 19, keeping faith, that is, leaning completely on God and absolute trust and confidence in His guidance, and having a good conscience. So after that good conscience, they put a semicolon. I will explain that because so many of you don't understand the use of all these exclamation marks. Semicolon, after that good conscience. For some people have rejected their moral compass, which is another name for good conscience. For some people have rejected their moral compass and have made a shipwreck of their faith. Verse 20, among these are Hymenaeus and Alexander, whom I have handed over to Satan so that they will be disciplined and taught not to blaspheme. Now, in this section that I have read, Paul was admonishing his trainee. I don't want to use spiritual son or spiritual father, all these jargons, all this nonsense we have in the body of Christ today. His trainee, that there are some prophecies that have gone before you. But in order to be able to fight these GOs and papas and false teachers, all of them, you need two things. Just like David picked some stones to fight Goliath in the Old Testament. So you need only two stones. The first stone, you need faith. Faith. Without faith, you cannot walk this journey. You cannot do this work that is set before you. However, apart from the faith which you will need, because there are some days that there won't be food on your table, you have to lean completely on God for food. There are some days you pray and nothing will happen. You still need God for sustenance. You still need God to be able to believe that He's the one who has called you, right? But much more important than faith is good conscience. Good conscience. Now, I do not want to make this video to be too long. As far as good conscience is concerned, do you think your GOs and papas and bishops, do you think they have this? Because after the semicolon, after the second stone was mentioned or is mentioned, faith and good conscience, they now put semicolon. So many of you don't understand semicolon. If I'm talking about this white stuff and this blue stuff, and I say the white and the blue, and I put semicolon after the blue, the next sentence will be talking about this blue, not both of them again. So when you read about the two stones that Timothy would need, faith and good conscience, semicolon. After the semicolon, they said, for some people have rejected the good conscience, hence making a shipwreck of their faith. So irrespective of the faith that they have displayed in all the fake miracles that they keep mentioning, like I spoke about Olukoya the other day, the whole social media went crazy. I saw people defending, I saw people abusing, some are even cursing. I don't care. Numbers 23 verse 8. How can anyone curse whom God has not cursed? How can anyone defile whom God has not defiled? According to the story of Balak and Balaam against the children of God. Help me go and ask yourselves, these men that you are defending, even you yourselves, do you have good conscience? Before you come and tackle somebody who is speaking up against false teachings. Now, look at the palliative. I just watched one video by, what was that name again? Adiola Faye or whatever, this blogger lady. How can a whole Nigerian government say that they remove palliative and now in the 4th month they are going to be giving us crumbs? If you see that video, you're going to cry. Yet, does it affect your GOs and papas? Are they speaking up against that? Some of you will still come back and say it is not their responsibility. But in the same Bible that you use in tying yourselves down, were there not prophets who spoke against politicians? Did Elijah not speak against Ahab? Did Elijah not speak against the wife of Ahab, Jezebel, and said it would be dogs that will hit your dead body? Did he not prophesy? And many of them, they will not, because they lack good conscience. And that is why whatever faith they have displayed in times past, àwọn gbàdúrà ilẹ̀ lanu, àwọn gbàdúrà ilé yá o, irọ́ tó tó láyé yóò sì. As long as they do not have good conscience, this is where I will stop. If you can go back and read that passage again. And we're delivering them just like Paul said, he delivered Arminius and Alexander into the hands of Lucifer, so that Lucifer can deal with them. Already, their father, their daddy that we don't know, is already dealing with them. You may not see it. Olúwarótìmí Daniel sìyìn náà ni awíkoko lójú ọlọ́rọ̀ tọ́lọ́rọ̀ bá gbọ́ kí ló fẹ́ fi mí ṣe. Nonsense.